I mean, I'm clueless about what he's referring to. He's talking about the Fauci files was supposed to come out last week. We now, at the end of this week, I just don't understand what he's doing, and I don't even think I should be addressing it because
so when he says what he's saying is to prosecute.
If you don't remember what Fauci was responding to, it was this tweet from Elon Musk. My pronouns are prosecute Fauci. Underneath, the question's asked, will this be explained in a new Twitter Files part? And the answer is yes. Well, you're about to learn how big of a yes that actually is.
I have absolutely nothing to hide at all. I'll be able to defend everything that I've done. So a lot of people are spouting out a lot of things about me and Twitter. I don't have a Twitter account. I've never had a Twitter account. I don't intend on having a Twitter account. And I've had nothing to do with Twitter.
That's one thing to say it to Neil Cavuto. However, a completely different thing when you say it under a sworn deposition. And that's exactly what Fauci did. The truth has finally leaked out. That's what we're going to cover for you today. If you haven't subscribed to Lisa, take a few seconds to do that. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, she'll put a link above. We're going to carry on this broadcast. It is a extremely big broadcast because we're going to go into the Muddy Waters report. If you don't know what that report is, you need to know every detail within it to understand the entire saga of COVID. We're going to get to that shortly. And to enjoy that over at Restricted, Republic Lisa wants to give you 14 days for free today on top of Lisa 5. So Lisa, the number 5 at monthly checkout, that's $5 a month. Those 14 days for free. Go ahead and watch the entire broadcast and everything else we're doing over there under audience funded news. Nobody dictates what we state but us and our audience. That is restrictedrepublic.com. And now, let's get back to this broadcast. So before we left, you saw this document on your screen. Dr. Anthony Fauci, his sworn deposition, 446 pages long, involved in that lawsuit between the state of Missouri against Joseph R. Biden Jr., of which, again, Dr. Anthony Fauci gave a very detailed deposition. Within it, a question was asked. Do you ever have any communications with anybody removing speech on the lab leak theory of the origins of COVID from social media platforms? In that testimony, he answered, I don't have an account. I don't tweet. I don't pay attention to social media. I wouldn't know how to access a tweet if you paid me. Very clear statement. No knowledge of Twitter. No idea how to use it. No idea how to send a tweet. Sworn testimony. To lie within is perjury. We'll go one step forward. Well, let me ask you this. Did you ever have concerns about what people might be saying on social media about the virus's origins? I don't have a Twitter account, he states. I don't do any of that, so I'm not familiar with that. I've never gotten involved in any of that. Now, the truth leaks out. Most recent Twitter file, Paul Thacker. But in an internal Twitter report in March of 2021, the company revealed Dr. Anthony Fauci did an account takeover for the WHO COVID response. This runs contrary to Fauci's public statements and sworn deposition given on November 23rd of 2022. They go on to show you the U.S. White House COVID-19 Task Force hosted a Q&A with 3 key COVID-19 health experts on February 4th. Dr. Anthony Fauci did an account takeover for WHO COVID response. Experts answered 32 questions from Twitter users. This was held on Twitter. So, Fauci, you do know how to use Twitter. And you have been on an account, and I don't care if it's 1 day or if it's 3 years. In your deposition, you were very clear in your answer. I don't have an account. I don't tweet. I don't pay attention to social media. This goes to declare the exact contrary to that statement. That is as simple as this needs to be. White House COVID-19 response. Dr. Fauci, this is from the White House COVID response team. Dr. Fauci will take over this account. If any of us did that in a court of law, we would have perjured, and we would be prosecuted. So close and so cozy with Twitter that one of their lead general counsels, very high up, as we've learned from other cases, Angela Scher, Dr. Anthony Fauci, Director of National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Disease, and the leading trusted voice about the COVID-19 response in the United States.
Twitter, I don't have a Twitter account. I've never had a Twitter account. I don't intend on having a Twitter account, and I've had nothing to do with Twitter.
Well, now we know that's not true, don't we, Fauci? But again, the plot thickens. But the plot thickens. Things you can discuss and things you can't discuss. Which leads us back to the house of cards of Fauci falling down all around him, all by the U.S. government themselves.
There have been a number of papers that have come out from highly qualified virologists and viral phylogeneticists that indicate that this is very, very likely a jumping species from an animal host, perhaps through an intermediate host, into a human species, which then spread throughout the human population.
And Fauci has stood on that line, sometimes waffling slightly, but it appears the U.S. government is no longer waffling slightly. COVID-19 likely originated with lab leak, U.S. Energy Department finds in a new report. FBI director says COVID most likely emerged from Chinese lab leak. New Senate report, the Muddy Waters report to be more specific, finds COVID likely originated from 2 Chinese lab leaks. This is the report that simply for most of us goes to frame in with a little additional detail, some of those missing markers in between each of the storylines, everything that occurred. It actually makes it fairly simple to understand, at least it's what they surmise as what they're declaring. But that's the report we're going to tread into as Fauci has continued to have to backpedal through an absolute disaster. And now, once again, the truth leaks out. Some would struggle to understand why you simply just don't tell the truth. Could things have been different? Couldn't things have been better? Well, now, unfortunately, we'll never know. But when you try to take facts and always twist them just slightly to make yourself appear to be above all others, well, man, sometimes that points in a different direction, and that is what we're about to go through completely. Don't forget, Lisa offering you, again, Lisa number 5, monthly checkout, 14 days for free. Get over there, check out the rest of the story. Want to make sure you got the headline here, and now we're going to dive into details unlike anything you've seen before, but we've been covering for years. I love you all. Until next time, Godspeed and God bless. Justice Knight, signing out.